Good morning. Hmm. It was hard this morning to get my mind off of the festivities of last night where my son's band, the Brevard Busking Coalition, won the Battle of the Bands as one of four finalists in a competition that's been going on for several months in the local area that I live. And it was a interesting evening, but I was really happy with the outcome. And I would have been really disappointed had it gone any other way. In any case, I don't want to talk about that this morning, so I had to find a subject, and even as I came to the computer out of the meditation room, I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to talk about, and it took me a good 15 minutes to decide on the topic for today. So, who is really president of the U.S.? Obama was sworn in yesterday in a private ceremony. The public ceremony takes place today. But is he really the president? Certainly he is not president of the Republic, the nation created by our forefathers as a public trust guaranteed by the Constitution and the honored Bill of Rights. In fact, under that Constitution, he is not even qualified to be president. For that matter, under the early 13th Amendment, most of those holding public office in the federal government are not qualified to hold public office for one very important reason. They are bar-certified attorneys. Attorneys hold a sworn allegiance to a foreign power, the bar, or British Accredited Registry. Their allegiance is to the Crown, City of London, which is an international banking cabal aligned with the Vatican Bank. And the people of the world, and the District of Columbia is the third city-state that operates the international conspiracy they call the New World Order. It's all a scam to either awaken or enslave the people of the world, depending on your perspective. Change a letter here. Okay, good. Save it. Wow. Let me say that since Obama was running for office back in 2008, I have been extremely leery and extremely skeptical of him. I have many friends in the metaphysical community or alternative spiritual community that are strong Obama supporters and have been from the beginning. I watched in the inauguration and the celebration of all the orbs that appeared, and I even showed the movie here at my place and at one other place at the New Way of the hyperdimensional election of Barack Obama. And I posted many channeled messages that said Obama was a divine plant to help right some of the wrongs and turn things around for the people of the world. And then after 4 years, he didn't do a dang thing in that direction. And again, was reelected, and as I said at the beginning of the blurb, he was sworn in privately yesterday and will be publicly today. But he's an attorney. Forget the fact that he was born outside of the United States and has all sorts of problems with the records of his life that don't add up and don't make sense. I don't even post the channeled messages anymore from Mike Quincy and from messages from Matthew. In fact, I'm not posting any of the channeled messages, although I still follow them. I'm not posting them on my website this year. because I cannot go along with the idea that Obama is doing anything on behalf of the people other than waking people up by being the worst president we've ever had, the most dictatorial president we've ever had, at least openly the most dictatorial. That's perhaps because people are more aware of what's going on than they've been before. There have been other dictatorial presidents, but they are not presidents of the republic. Since 1871, all of the presidents have been presidents of the corporation, because that's when the corporation, aligned again, as I said, with the Crown, the City of London, which was invisibly aligned with the Vatican Bank, this alignment created the New World Order, or the rule of the corporation over people, and they actually made all of the people in the United States, and probably in other nations too, corporations. That's your name in all capital letters. Well, this is the scam that has been going on for what, almost 140, 150, 140 some years. This scam has been going on, and it's time for it to end. I talked about yesterday the papers that Heather filed in the One People's Public Trust, which actually foreclose on the corporation known as the United States of America and all of its subdivisions, the state of Florida, the state of New Jersey, the state of Massachusetts, and all of the other states of. It's a foreclosure notice because the people have awakened. So if that was the job of Obama, to help the final awakening process, he did his job. He's awakened us. There are all sorts of federal lawsuits against his presidency. There are all sorts of states and counties and other political entities that are saying we're not going to follow the dictates of Obamacare, or if he signs some bill that tries to take arms away from the American people, that will not be supported. There are sheriffs and law enforcement officers that have stood on board, and we are told that there's a positive part of the military that also will stand against the dictatorial powers being assumed by Obama and those operating within the corporation known as the United States. This is all coming to an end, and it must come to an end. And I am categorically removing any support that I've ever even imagined for Obama. He is not on the side of the people. He is on the side of the corporation, which is operating, and has been for a long time, operating a fraud against the people of the United States and waging war against the people of the world. And this has to end. This cannot continue. I am all in favor of justice with mercy. I'm all in favor of forgiving those that come forward and say they were wrong and admit what they were doing and tell the truth. I'm all in favor of showing mercy and compassion for anybody that's done anything that is unlawful and has done anything that is a crime against humanity. But those that are unrepentant, those that stand firmly in their commitment to continue the fraud and continue the violence against the people, that's a war crime. That's a crime that needs to be punished if it's not admitted to and reconciled, so that the people can be reconciled. Because yes, we are all one. I hear you and I agree with you. We are all one and we're all playing roles. I agree with you. But I do not want to continue to live in a world where those that are criminals, and yes, those that operate outside the law and outside the public trust that the law protects, those are criminals. Yes, there is a part of us that is criminal in nature, or they wouldn't be able to hold and usurp and hold the power that they have apparently been put into. They wouldn't have the authority, because governments do operate on consent of the people. And yes, we the people have been ignorant. We have been. I have been. I didn't know. It wasn't until George Bush, whom I thought, we can't get a president worse than George Bush. He's absolutely got to be the worst possible president we could ever have. And then comes Obama. And I'm sorry for those of you that think Obama's one of the white hats. He's not. When are you going to finally admit what we're seeing playing out in our world? When are you going to admit the reality of the law? He's not even qualified. Even if he was born in the United States, he's not qualified because he's an attorney. And they say that John Boehner, but it's Boner. I'm sorry. That's really, Boehner is not the correct pronunciation of it, even though that's how a lot of people say it. It's Boner. He was sworn in, and Ron Paul was sworn in December as president of the Republic and vice president thereof. Now that's what I believe. That's the real government. The shadow government is the one that's operating under color of law as if it's the real government. And color of law means it's operating a fraud. It's operating a scam. It's a Ponzi scheme. And the world needs to wake up, and we need to stand, each of us, in our individual sovereignty. We are each sovereigns of one. I am a sovereign of me under God, and God's Spirit dwells within me and dwells within you and dwells within all of us, and we are the children of the Most High, or of the Creator, or of the Prime Source, or of, you name it, the universe. Whatever you want to call deity, we are children of creation. And the Creator is the creator of creation and is in all of creation as well as beyond all of creation, both immanent and transcendent. The Creator is both. But this game that we've been playing, this stage that we've been operating on, they call it an illusion, but it's a delusion. We have forgotten who we are. And it's time for people to stop supporting and even pretending to support Obama. It's time to stop, because he's not doing the job. If he was sent from the galactic community, he's failed miserably at doing what he came to do. He's aligned himself with all of the wrong people, and he did so from the very beginning. And all of the excuses those that support him have had are meaningless excuses. He's not doing the job that he came to do from the human perspective. From the divine perspective, everything works in divine order. I know that. I know that. But I want a world, I want to be part of a world and to live in a world that works for everybody. And as long as people are serving the corporation, they are working against the beneficiaries of the public trust, namely the people. They are working on behalf of those that have subverted the Constitution, subverted the law, and twisted everything to their own benefit, against the will and against the benefit of the people. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. It's what I have talked about today. And I thank you for listening. I'm not going to say any more. Namaste.